might as well just get to the fun facts real quick. Basically, put we already noted how a lot of VAs in Samurai Deeper Kill were taken from the Yu-Gi-Oh dubs such as Dan Green, Wayne Grayson, Bronca Taylor, Ted Lewis, etc. Now, out of all of them, Ted Lewis had very few actual appearances. Okay, one thing to note about this anime, and I know I've already said this, but I'm just gonna say it bluntly. The reason why the anime is so drastically different from the manga is because the anime takes a lot, and I mean a lot of creative liberties with the plot. In fact, it barely followed the manga plot at all. Okay,
Oh,
also to note, Kyo is technically an artificial construct who was born from Kyo's attempt to purge the violence and cruelty from himself. In fact, Kyo was technically not an actual normal human being. Apart from these flashbacks at his time with Muramasa, Akira, and Hotaru, the anime actually provides less details of Kyo's past. And in fact, Yuya actually got less actual presence in the manga to an extent to note as well. Also, a little plot twist at the end of the manga. You guys know how basically the final battle, Kyo had to fight Nobunaga while controlling Kyo's body, and how basically they actually literally fought at Tokyo Tower at one point.
yeah. At the modern day?
Yeah. Now here's the scary part about this, real quick. Now, remember that this was final about the anime. In the final in the manga, Kyo actually had to fight the former Crimson King, who was an extremely dangerous and well borderline megalomaniacal villain himself. And the battle was much more bloody as Kyo was basically horribly wounded to the point where he literally couldn't even stand. In fact, the only reason he survived the battle when the tower was collapsing, and keep in mind that had he stayed in there, it would have literally buried him alive. The only reason he survived was because the spirit of the sword Tenro saved his life by teleporting him
Oh,
out before he fell out of the tower. That's literally the only reason Kyo survived in the manga. And not only that, but also a major twist near the end of the manga reveals that every living member of the Mibu clan is actually a Battle Doll's descendant created by the true Mibu. In fact, the only actual blood relative of the Mibu who's still technically a true one is none other than, surprise, Kyoshiro, and by proxy, Kyo. The anime says the opposite, as Kyo's the construct, yada yada. Not too different from how Bison, in Street Fighter, literally forced out all the good in his soul. And the one other thing to
mhm.
note, the number of Muramasa blades are different. In the manga, there are only 4, but in the anime, there are 5. In the anime, you already know about Tenro, Shibian, Hokuroku Shimon, Tengoku, and the one that wasn't outright named by Megaria. Another thing to note, the Kenyo, they don't even appear in the manga more than maybe once or twice, literally. And nearly all the antagonists in the anime, they all transform into monsters eventually, but again, this is more anime taking a lot of creative liberties. I imagine if the series got a remake, things would be different. But that's not like again, that's just mostly just shit like that.
Mm.
I mean, honestly, not much more to say other than like just going to go through the story real quick. I'm going to give a real quick breakdown. We already said started with how Kyoshiro and Yuya became they met. They essentially traveled together after the big reveal about how he's sharing a body with a man who slaughtered 1,000 people. Also need to note that throughout all these misadventures and such, they gotta fight more Kenyo, they gotta fight more evil villains, yada yada fucking yada. Not only that, but also revenge plots. Oh yes, let's not forget body stealing, because that's a thing. Oh wait, we ever heard this before?
Ginyu.
Not just him, Zamasu. Because remember, Goku Black. And so on. Let's not forget how basically Benny Tora surprise I'm gonna be honest. Out of all the characters who got some character development, in my honest opinion, I gotta give it up to Kyo and surprisingly enough, Benny Tora and Yukimura. Well, not just them, but also Yuya as well. Benny Tora changed a lot from the get go. Let's be fair. Yeah, he's basically Samurai Joey, but he did get a lot of character development.
Cowboy Samurai Joey.
Also, before I forget, let's not forget a lot of digging into Kyo's past, though understandably so, he is a member of the Mibu clan. And like I said, when it comes to the Mibu arc especially, Take a shot every time the name Miibu's mentioned.
God, I hope I didn't fuck with my mind too much.
All right.
Non-alcoholic or alcoholic?
How much you want to live?
That's a good question.
Fair enough. So,
AKA, don't do it at all.
anyways, all right. So let's go to favorite characters real quick because I know we usually get to this at some point. So, any favorite characters?
I'll go first on this, actually.
Go ahead.
Ironically enough, even though I will still argue with them, it'll be the fucking 30-year-old dude.
Yukimura.
Yes.
He's 37.
I will, even though I will still argue with them on that. Actually,
Again, it's called a himbo.
I'm
that's not how.
But he's
a
not
himbo-
stupid though.
I know he's not stupid. Like,
Crossy, the word himbo only really applies to big, buff, stupid men.
never
Goku's a
mind.
himbo.
Never
Yep.
mind.
Goku's literally the definition of a himbo.
Yep, it's true. Johnny Bravo is a himbo.
That's sad but true.
Continue.
Any other favorites, Justin? Because I know Yukimura ain't the only one.
Obvious ones I know. I only said Yukimura because I know Zami's gonna probably say it along with her other husbandos, but I'm gonna just say it. I do like Kyo. I kind of like the water dragon dude. He was cool.
Shinrei?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Shinrei, like, for all his flaws, he's not really a bad dude. He just has, like, he's just caught between his loyalty and, doing the right thing. So, actually, yeah, kind of like Odeon when it came to Merrick. All right, Zami, any favorites of yours?
Yukimura.
Any others?
I have like 6 others. Do you want me?
You know what? Don't even bother asking her because we already know who they are.
In her husbandos. But any others outside of her husbandos? That's what I was actually getting at.
No. Yukimura's top though. And then Mr. Dante and Lady Lovechild is right underneath him.
I would have honestly figured Demon Kyo would have been first or second on your list, to be honest with you.
Yukimura takes the cake because he dresses well as a woman.
I mean, he does pull off the look well. Give him that much. Like, I'll give Yukimura this much. He has some very interesting character development and plot twists. I will give him that. Like, so, actually, Cross, go ahead. I'm going to let you go next.
Yukimura, Sasuke.
Sasuke? Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Go on.
That's it.
You don't have any other favorites like Demonized Kyo? Because I know you have him as husbando.
I did say Kyo.
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you.
Like, it was Kyo, Yukimura, Sasuke, and that's it.
Before I forget, real quick, because I know we're talking about Yukimura at this point, I just looked up, I did a general search for Yukimura just now, but this is one of the pictures come up with from, what was it? This is one of the ones that came up from the series Sengoku Muso, of what Yukimura's look, apparently. That's somewhat irrelevant, but I just figured I had to put that there. But, like I said, point blank, I'm going to be honest. And as much as I'm pained to admit it, like, favorite characters, no, this is I'm gonna be honest. At the top of the list is Demonized Kill, but with good reason. I think he had a lot more character development than people would think. Cause yeah, he's still pretty gruff and rough around the edges for the entire series. But if you look underneath all that, he actually developed much better as a character than people would think. So he's at the top of my list for me. Second would be Yukimura because again, he has that intelligence. Like he has this. Like let's be fair. He's the reason that he earned my respect was actually because of how technically Yukimura basically remember what I mentioned earlier about how he basically treats his all of his soldiers and his ninjas as family. That's what I'm getting at. Like that's one reason I respect Yukimura as a character. So he's one of my favorites. But another one right up there on the list, I'm gonna be honest. And this was like it's a toss up between Shinrei and Muramasa, believe it or not, because Muramasa literally was the reason Kyo became the badass he is today. That's one reason why I like him as a character. So no, actually, if nothing else, I'm gonna have to give Muramasa one of my favorite spots because again, this is a guy who literally helped shape basically one of the biggest badasses in the series. That's why he's one of my favorites. And he was an actual, like, he was more of a father to Kyo than his actual father. So there's that. Crossing, like, I think you listed your favorites, hon.
I listed my favorites.
Alright, so I guess we could go to our least favorites now.
Yeah. Oh boy, I've got 5 I don't care for.
Probably, I guess that the one we all just consider a fucking asshole.
Nobunaga. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. That's all I can really think of on the dislike
No,
list.
like Nobunaga. Ugh.
Also, that Princess Peach bitch.
Wait, you mean Yuya or
The one
Sakuya?
that's like, the one.
Oh, Sakuya.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the one that's kind of useless. Days of distress.
Ugh. No, Sakuya needs to burn.
Why don't you just go sit down and tremble in fear and cry out, save me, like you're supposed to?
Like, I don't care
And we're
for.
gonna let it burn.
Yeah, I don't care for Sakuya at all. Another, like, the 2 nurses in the anime. Fuck them. They don't. No, they're annoying. They were just straight up annoying.
What's wrong? Don't you want to touch my body? As worthless as they are, don't waste your bullets for Kyo. Now that's exactly the kind of thing I want to hear from a man. Yeah!
Oh, I'm coming. I'm done here. I fulfilled my purpose. I ain't need to see no more shit down here.
Psycho and what was the other bitch?
Saisei.
Psycho and Saisei can burn. I can't stand them. Like, they were just annoying more than anything else. Like, I just couldn't, like, deal with them. Like, I just couldn't deal with them. If I had watched this series in the subs version, I imagine it would have been less annoying.
You'd.
Anyways, the last one on my list, I'm gonna be honest, and this, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, to a degree on this one, to be fair. Actually, no, scratch that. Not to a degree. I just hate this bitch. Shatura. Fuck her.
That Android 18 looking bitch?
Yes. I can't stand her. She's annoying. Not to mention she's a manipulative bitch. Can I just point out the fact that she simps super hard for her brother?
It's incest is okay, kids.
In Japan.
Only for that. And Alabama.
I mean, we did find that out when you played Yakuza at one point, Justin.
Yakuza, I love you, but
trust me, we all could have done without that shit. But yeah, any least favorites, Zammy?
Not any notable ones, but I did hate Wispy Woods and that blonde bitch at the end that just thought she was like the best female ever just because she got the bad guy and whatever.
Oh yeah, shots are out. Yeah, she can burn. Well, technically, apparently, at one point in the actual timeline, Megaria did mention she did actually burn to death.
Good.
Yeah, and I'll give Megaria points for this. He literally erased her ass.
You got the Kikyo treatment.
Well, no, hon. The Kikyo treatment would involve any without much pain. In this case, bitch got all the pain of literally being wiped out of existence. So you're not far off though. All right, any others, Zammy, or is that like Shotaro? I know Shotaro is one of the ones you didn't like, and I know you didn't like Sakuya either.
Well, you're just naming them all for me now.
I'm just guessing. I don't know for certain.
You just named them all.
Well, shit, I didn't realize that. Well, to be fair, Sakuya is fucking useless, so even
again, come on, do something.
Fair enough. Crossy, any least favorites?
Dude, you already know.
I know you didn't care for that one dude from Benitor's backstory.
Yeah.
He was literally just a one-off.
I don't care for Sakuya either.
I think we can all agree nobody likes Sakuya.
Nope.
Last time we had a collective hatred of a single character was literally Bluster Kong.
And Uncle Ruckus.
I forgot about that.
Who's more tolerable, Uncle Ruckus? You know what? Comment section below. Who's more tolerable to y'all, Uncle Ruckus or Bless the Kong? Let me know in the comments.
I'd
We'll
kill
put-
them both in a heartbeat.
I might as well put up a poll on that bitch too. Fuck it. Going on from that,
I think all that's left now, since we got all of our negative characters we hate, is favorite episodes.
or arcs basically. Like depending. I'm gonna be honest. There weren't any particular episodes I liked per se, but I'll give for like particular scenes I actually did like. Like I did actually enjoy the fight scenes between now despite my dislike of Nobunaga as a character, I will give them credit for putting up some pretty decent fight scenes with him and Kyo. I will give him that.
Yes.
Like, say what you will about Nobunaga, but he was part of some very impressive fight scenes for the series. I mean, I gotta give props to that. Also, I gotta give props to Yukimura for literally yeeting an arrow back at somebody who fired it at him. This is why he was horribly injured. He's like, okay, I'm gonna take this arrow right in the eye, bitch.
Return to sender.
Yep, and unlike the other dude who used a bow, he's like, nah, I'm gonna throw that bitch. He didn't give a fuck. When Yukimura is pissed off, he does not give a fuck. Let's be fair. So yeah, some of Yukimura's fights are pretty impressive too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? The biggest notable one though in my book was him versus his brother. Let's be fair, because yeah, his brother was kind of a dick, but you can't deny the fight scene was pretty good to watch. Any favorite scenes or episodes from you guys? Because I'm just listing some of mine, because that's just how I see it.
Yukimura turned into a girl.
Fair.
That's the number.
And the last 2 episodes because of them epic fight scenes.
Yeah, I'll agree with it on the epic last 2 fight scenes.
Yeah, that the final battle was actually something to watch. And the sad part is that wasn't even the full potential that could have been brought out from that shit. Because again, in the manga, Kyo learned some much more powerful techniques in the he learned much more powerful techniques in the manga. And in fact, the Suzaku technique was just one of 5 special techniques that could destroy an entire city at maximum power. Crossy, any favorite scenes on your end, real quick? Like any scenes?
Probably that fight scene.
Hmm?
That fight scene.
Fair enough. Oh, right. A little tidbit from the manga, apparently. One ability that was not revealed in the anime, obviously. This was actually the basis for the Ultra Instinct. A technique called Koryu. That is a specific technique to demonize Kill, apparently. But yeah, I think we listed our least favorites, like least favorite characters. Like, okay, any least favorite episodes or arcs or whatever.
Hard because there are a few, but at the same time, there wasn't too bad. I wouldn't say the episodes or arcs were too bad. It's most of the characters that we kind of hate that were in them.
Yeah, fair enough. Actually, there was one episode I don't care for particularly. This was right after, the reveal of Kyosho being Kyo. When they stopped at that one village and that one girl basically was, practically sold out her whole hometown to, because she hated the fact that her family laid down their swords, basically. I didn't care for that episode. I really did not care for that episode.
It was kind of filler-ish.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I still didn't care for it. Oh, right. The one other scene I really couldn't stand. The fight scene with Saisei and Psycho. No. They were as annoying as the Prince Yuki fan club in Fruits Basket.
I'm glad you and I agree.
That's a name I didn't think I'd be hearing for a while.
God, we have a damn.
It's true though. Those bitches were that annoying. God damn.
I didn't think I'd hear that name again after a heartbeat.
Unfortunately, that was the most annoying thing I could think of that was comparable.
No, it's fine. I'm I'm okay with that. Like I said, it's just oh,
Are
Any
you sure you're
least,
okay?
any other
yeah,
least
it's just
favorites?
yeah. Like I said, I'm fine. It's because it's like I said. Like I said, it's just like that's the one I did not expect to hear again after again a long ass time from watching Fruit Baskets multiple times, old school and the rerun.
All right. So, in all honesty, before we give our ratings, I guess, because it's clear that
Um,
there are certain ones we all do not
yeah,
care for. I'm just gonna make
yeah.
some. Mhm.
Oh, go
It's,
ahead. Finish what you're saying.
no, I'm just gonna say, like, I'm gonna be honest. I personally recommend this series get a remake. Cause the way it ended, I know this was a huge disappointment for Justin, especially the
Mm-hmm.
way they ended this series in the anime. Like, don't get me wrong. I love how the final battle ended. Nobunaga was sent to hell where he belonged, basically.
But there's just not much to work with or go off with now after that.
This
But the
anime
thing,
and Chibi Vampire need a reboot.
yeah, but the
Yeah.
reason why I say that, the reason why I'm saying this is because this series could have been way better, in my honest opinion. Don't get me wrong, it's good for its premise, and it's definitely got potential. The problem is it didn't reach anywhere near what it was, what it should have been capable of, especially when you go by the manga, which is literally far superior.
Anyway, but if I think we should go before we answer the age-old question of every show review, I think we should give our ratings first this time.
Actually,
Who wants
before
to?
that, real quick, I just
Mhm.
want to point something out real quick.
Oh
Like,
my lord.
just one thing I want to point out. That's it. Like, I do like how they use historical warlords and how they adapted that shit, and then use actual Japanese history to blend that shit in without it being like, without being like, what's the word? Overdone. I will give them that.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't massive trope abuse there, just just enough basically. It was just right there.
Mhm. So I think we should just go all around. Who wants to give their ratings and all that?
8 out of 10.
7 out of 10, no kissing.
Is that all it takes for you?
Plot
it-
was also all around the place, so
Okay, I'm giving this a 6.5 out of 10. But here's why. I'm just gonna list real quick why I'm giving it 6 out of 10. Because the series was not properly resolved, in my honest opinion. Like the open end, like the series left a couple things open ended, like very open ended. And it was pretty clear from looking at the series, especially in the Mibu arc, there was a lot more to the Mibu clan than just a few elders, Shinrei, Hotaru, and a couple other people. There's clearly much more at work, but they never expanded on it. Most likely due to budget and time.
Mhm.
And also, characterization was pretty bad in a number of areas. I gotta be honest. Like, especially with 4 certain characters in the series. Actually, no, 5. I mean, Megaria was one that could have been handled better because he had a lot of potential, but it could have been handled better.
Mm-hmm. He
Shout out
was
to,
doing it for justice.
but Megaria came off as a really unnecessarily edgy, like, hero of justice kind of thing. Also, they could have fleshed out a lot of characters better, especially some of the supporting characters. Don't get me wrong, Yukimura's character was done well, but it could have been done better. It didn't reach its full potential. Not even close. I'm being nice, giving it a 6.5 out of 10.
So I did have a stern rating that I wanted to give it when we discussed this before our recordings, but after giving it actual more thought and serious thinking and more discussion about it during this review, I'm gonna have to agree with Hazard and give it a 6.5 out of 10. My original review thought was for it was a 7, but given how there were so many things cut out or left unanswered and so many things left off, and I felt unsatisfied with what we had. So I, being nice and going with a 6.5, I was close to leaning towards just a straight 6, to be honest. So yeah,
I wanted to give this a higher score, but there were a number of problems with this series I could not ignore. Like I did with Afro Samurai, it's a series I like, but I have to be straight up. This series, the writing was not that bad considering how it could have been, but it wasn't that good either. The characterization could have been handled better. I'm gonna be honest, certain characters just need not apply at all. And I'm gonna be honest, this series is in serious need of a remake because there's a number of things that could have been handled far better in this series that just weren't. So there you have it. That's my reasoning for why I think personally this series is a remake, like outright needs a remake. And I recommend, but this is just again my opinion. If they're not gonna do like a one that directly follows the manga more closely, at the very least, they could use majority of the manga as a source material, and maybe bits of the anime, like with if people really like Megaria to come back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, this series is in need of a remake.
Yeah.
I love the series, but yeah.
Yeah, and that brings us to the final question. Does the series still hold up?
It's complicated.
I'll be honest to say, I'm sure you guys have different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
It's somewhat in the middle, but more leaning towards yes. I'm not saying it's bad or anything. It's just like how I gave it my score. There are some things it could have more, or it could use more. You know what I mean? Like, there were very things that were lacking in this. That I feel like it does hold up. Like where it holds up, if we watch it, will it still hold up in 2022? I'm sure it will, but there will be a lot of things that will be changed a lot. But I digress. It does hold up well, but at the same time, I feel like anime phase now, anime fans now, how when they are with certain things, they might notice some flaws with it, like we do. So it's very in the middle for me. Whether I still like it, yes, but like I said, it's still in the middle on my perspective. I don't know what y'all would say, but I would say it's kind of in the middle a bit.
I say it does, but at the same time, it needs a lot of work. Although I have to point out real quick again that Demonized Kyo and Kyoshiro, they remind me very much of the relationship between Yugi and Yami Yugi, or if you want to really go like out there, Hatsuharu's both light and dark halves, personality wise, in Fruits Basket.
Howie.
Because weirdly enough, in the manga, Kyoshiro is actually a massive pervert to an extent. Like he's a perv, like he's just an utter perv. In like this is noted in chapter 120. He literally spanked Yuya when she basically was giving him grief.
Well, the thing is though, if we're gonna talk about anime perverts, he's nowhere as bad as
Moroku from Inuyasha.
No, as bad as Meliodas from Seven Deadly Sins.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry to say it, but that's.
I know. That's why I'm gonna be honest. For a split second, my brain did not remember that.
Yeah, yeah. When it comes to pervertness, the only people I know, top perverts that I could think of is Zoroshi from
Meliodas.
Dragon Ball,
Yeah, let's be honest. Meliodas is a gigantic pervert.
Yeah, gropes Elizabeth when she was just asleep and shit.
He gropes her all the damn time. Fuck you,
yeah.
mean.
I know, but I'm just saying, there's many things he's done that is not too not too agreeable,
or very questionable.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so if nothing else, now that I think about it, the relationship between Kyo and Yuya isn't too far off from Meliodas and Elizabeth at times. There's a scary thought. Oh yeah, Crossy, we think we can put that as a notable little tidbit. That technically Yuya and Kyo aren't too dissimilar from Meliodas and Elizabeth, to a degree, mind you, because Kyo's not that big a pervert. Like, he just basically spanked her at one point in the manga.
I mean, he doesn't care though. So
no, believe it or not, he actually does more than he would like you to believe. Remember, he just shows more bloodlust on the outside. Like I said, this is why I say he's one of my favorite characters, because you gotta look real deep underneath, all that, rage and bloodlust, basically. This is what I was getting at.
Yeah.
So, Zami, like real quick, do you think the series holds up for you, like at this point in time?
I mean, kinda not. Again, they left off at with a whole bunch of questions to be answered. Like, it feels like there's more. You know what I mean? There's like
Yep.
there's the feeling that there's more, but we're not receiving it. So, like all of you guys said, it needs a reboot. Seriously needs a reboot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Normally I'm against reboots, but in this case, it kind of does need one to redeem itself. Grassy, what do you think? Does it hold up still?
It still holds. It's kind of on the middle side for me if it holds up, because I know not a lot of people know the anime, but at the same time, it wouldn't hurt to try. Plus, it kind of deserves a remake, like, to start all over.
The thing is, despite all the major differences with the anime and the manga and anime purists in the fandom, it's mostly pretty chill for what I've seen. But when it comes to the anime, people will judge it pretty harshly. I think we've been mild about it. Like, I remember somebody, like, there was one reviewer who said that he, like, after looking at the manga, the anime is practically a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Ouch. I mean, I can't fault them. So, yeah. So, I think for all of us, it's pretty much in the middle at this point.
Yeah, it's just like, it's good. I recommend y'all watch it and shit, but at the same time, just don't take our word for it. You guys may have different opinions about it, and that's completely fair and fine. We're all open with that. But yeah, let us know what you guys think of it, if you watched it or not, or if you do start watching it because of this vid. Because we'd love to hear it. But yeah, I think that's with all that said, we could close the book on Samurai Deeper Kyo.
Yep.
And with all that, I think we could all go ahead and say our outros and all of that. So get to it.
Saz of Chaos, Chaotic Researchers, Retro Warriors, and all around sarcastic bastard signing off.
And your chaotic queen and Wildcard Crossy signing off. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that little notification bell. Punch it in the face if you have to. Algorithm sucks.
Yeah. You two fix your shit.
All right. Well, this is the quote-unquote retro goddess signing out, I guess. See you guys next time.
Yeah, links and descriptions, like links to all our channels and such will be in the descriptions.
Yep, and this is the Retro Leader signing us all out, and we'll see you all next time with another wonderful review of Retro Warriors. Bye-bye.
Later,
bye. Adios, guys.
A once legendary killer has taken an oath to protect the innocent and never kill again. But old memories seldom fade, and bad habits die hard. Die, Batozai! Over here! Rurouni Kenshin premieres Monday, March 17th at 6:30. Only Toonami.
From the pages of Ultimate Muscle, this rising star is Kid Muscle. Kid Muscle has gone the distance to prove he's the pounding prince of the Muscle League. Get 1 full hour of Ultimate Muscle.
For the next time on Retro Warriors.